Merry Christmas. Well, that was yesterday.
Yeah, I did. Merry Boxing Day.
Yeah, you missed your chance, guys. You missed your chance to say
Damn
Merry
it.
Christmas to me. I appreciate it all the time. I appreciate a real gift for me getting to be at that game tonight, guys. A game that David Adelman just called one of the top 5 best performances of Jokic's career. Sure, why not? It's got to be up there. It's the highest scoring triple double in Christmas history, beating his own record, of course, that he set against. I believe it's the 3rd highest scoring game in Christmas history, and it's the most points ever scored in an overtime period. So if you like Jokic, you like the Nuggets, it was a good night.
It was a very good night. It sucked for a second there, though.
It sure did, man. When I say that the tension was palpable in here, I mean, look, everyone knows the history of not just these matchups and the losses, but blowing leads, right? Frankly, that's something that's happened against the Wolves a lot. When Ant starts to feel himself in this building, the fans get tense. They get anxious. They get antsy. And it looked really rough, man. It seems like just a second ago they were down 9-0 to start overtime. But here we are. Nuggets are the victors, and they are 3-0 against the Wolves this season. What a treat for the faithful fans of Denver. Let's go to the presser now, where David Adelman says, it sounds crazy, but when we went down in that 9-0 run to start overtime, I didn't think we were completely out of it, just because of the way that game was. Star players were making plays back and forth. It just seemed like tons of runs were happening. So he didn't think it was all said and done, and obviously he was right. He was really impressed by Jokic tonight. He said some of his friends were texting him after the Dallas loss, giving him flack, saying Jokic needs to shoot that. And he said, well, you could have said the same thing tonight like hundreds of times, because he just keeps making the right play. And that was what struck him tonight. He said it was the right play all the time, even though it's 56, 15, and 16. Just really impressed by Jokic's consistency and commitment to making the right play. He says this has got to be up there as far as Jokic's best performances. The shot making at timely parts of the game when things were getting away from us. It was ultimately a historic night, he said, for Jokic. On Ant, were considering fouling him, but it was just such a tough spot. Because once he caught in rhythm to turn, which is kind of like part of his shooting motion, a la Kobe Bryant, Adelman said, because you're in a really tough spot there of like a lot of things can go wrong. So they considered fouling. They wanted to front him and push him towards the rim. It didn't work out that way. Incredible shot by Ant. Although as I check my notes here, it says that he was ejected in overtime. So you can have that shot, I suppose.
Brendan, why was he ejected? We didn't have sound. So like what happened?
So it was 2 texts. So, I mean, I'm going to need to rewatch the film and figure, but it was just that he got the second text, so he was automatically out of there. The first one was maybe a bit debatable. He didn't seem to love it. And then I think he just kind of committed to where it seemed like that game was heading. I asked David Adelman if he cares at all that they're up 3-0 on the Wolves, just given the nature of this matchup over the last couple of seasons. And he said, I think so. I think for both of us over these years, there's been things that we have really found out about each other that have really worked, giving each other problems. I thought years back we always went to this game feeling good about how we were going to play them. And then there was this 1.5, 2 years period where they really did bother us with some different things. And he said, some of those things they went to tonight. And at times they did bother us. But I felt like we were better equipped just through the experience of playing them so many times to react to it better, to some of those zero coverages, some of the cross matching. He said, it's just the experience. It's just going to continue to teeter-totter with these two teams. They know each other so well. We caught up with Peyton Watson in the locker room. I told him that Jokic set the record for points in an overtime period. And I said, I'm sure that doesn't surprise you. And Peyton said, no, it doesn't surprise me. And I'm getting a little tired of not being surprised. This is ridiculous, Peyton said. He says, we just cannot continue to overlook what Jokic is doing. Surely no one can overlook what he did tonight. But he was just really, really impressed by the best player in the world and his teammate. And he says, when you're out there, you're playing the score, you're playing basketball. But when it's over, you get a second to step back and see and realize, just how incredible it is what Jokic was doing tonight. We spoke with Jamal Murray, who told us that he rolled his ankle in the first quarter. You might have caught that on the broadcast. He was limping. Yeah. That played a big role in his shot selection. Obviously, he got a lot of shots up tonight, but 18 of them were from three-point range, which is a career high for him. And he said, yeah, that's because I rolled my ankle. I just really couldn't move as well as I wanted to, but I did what I could tonight. On Jokic, he says, I don't think we talk enough about how clutch Jokic is. Murray, talking about himself, said, Sure, I've made some big shots throughout my career, but there's a reason that we go to him consistently. And then on Jokic scoring 18 in overtime, he said, yeah, that seems about right. And I think
Yeah,
one of my favorite
that'll do.
quotes of the night, that'll do it. I think my favorite quote of the night, mostly because it seems to have ruffled some feathers in Minnesota already. I asked Jamal Murray the same question. Does it mean anything to you to be up 3-0 on this team in the season series? Shrugged his shoulders, said, I don't really care. So Jamal Murray, he's already kind of over it. It's behind him. Wolves fans don't seem to believe him. That's the quote that's on record. And this is a win on record, an overtime win at home. And look, you got to win the games, right? When you're the home team at Christmas, you'd like to think this is a really impressive result, you guys. Down 3 starters against a division rival that knows you well, a rival that hasn't beaten you yet this year. You knew they were desperate to come in here or motivated to come in here and get one. And the Nuggets didn't let them, despite some more clutch time woes. It was a legendary night for Jokic, who saved Christmas in the end.
Yeah.
He saved Christmas.
Vote. Let me just ask you one question. Are you taking Jokic for granted?
I would never do that.
Okay,
I would
good.
never. I'll tell you the other thing that I would never do. I would never say it looks effortless. I would never do either.
Either
of those
one.
things.
Good stuff, Vote. Merry Christmas.
Merry Boxing Day.
I'm going to say really quick, guys. There were just so many people that came up at the arena tonight to say how much they appreciate the show and the writing. Caleb, I think Colin, my Serbian Brate courtside, I forgot your name. Tons of others came up just to tell us they appreciate the show. If you're watching tonight, Merry Christmas to you, to everyone watching tonight, and to everyone who watches every night. Merry Christmas from us to you. We appreciate it. We got the best job in the world here, covering the best player in the world, and it's all possible because we have the best audience in the world.
Did they mention me by name at all, or they?
But you know, you didn't come up tonight, Eric, but maybe next time.
Bitch.
Good stuff, Vote.
All right, fellas.
Have a good one.